Have you ever imagined what it feels like to stand in the middle of a chaotic crowd? Cameras flashing, voices shouting, pressure closing in from every direction, and then, in one unexpected moment, someone you trust the most suddenly steps in front of you, shielding you without hesitation? Hello, Army! Welcome back to Jikook Lover Purple Heart. Before we dive into this viral story, don't forget to hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe right now, because what you're about to hear today might completely change the way you see Jimin and Jungkook forever. What really happened at the airport that day? Why did Jimin's expression suddenly change? And why did Jungkook act like a bodyguard out of nowhere? It all started with one moment, caught on camera, but leaving behind far more questions than answer. The world of K-pop is never truly quiet. Every day brings new headlines, new moments, new stories that capture global attention. But among all of them, there are rare instances, moments so subtle yet so powerful that they spark conversations across millions of fans worldwide. This was one of those moments. It happened at an airport, a place that usually serves as nothing more than a transition point, a space filled with hurried footsteps, brief encounters, and routine schedules. But on that particular day, something shifted. Something felt different. Members of BTS arrived as they always do. Cameras were ready. Fans were waiting. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement, anticipation, and noise that never truly fades. At first glance, everything seemed normal. Smiles, casual movements, familiar gestures. But if you looked closer, there was a subtle change. And it started with Jimin. There was something in the way he walked. Something in the way his eyes moved. Quick, searching, almost uncertain. His usual calm presence seemed slightly shaken, replaced by a tension that was difficult to define. It wasn't obvious. Not at first. But then the crowd pressed closer. Voices grew louder. Cameras moved in. The space tightened. And suddenly, that subtle shift became impossible to ignore. Clips that later circulated online began to reveal the moment more clearly. Jimin's posture stiffened. His gaze flickered rapidly, as if trying to locate something, or someone, in the overwhelming scene around him. What was going through his mind at that exact second? Was it fear? Was it discomfort? Or was it simply the weight of the moment catching up to him? No one could say for sure. But then, something happened. A movement. Quick. Instinctive. Jungkook, without announcement, without hesitation, without drawing attention to himself, he changed position. He moved closer, more alert, more aware, and in a moment now replayed countless times across the internet, Jungkook stepped slightly ahead of Jimin. Not dramatically, not exaggerated, but enough. Enough to create space. Enough to shift the energy. Enough to make people pause and ask, did he just protect him? The gesture lasted only seconds, but its impact, massive, because it wasn't just where Jungkook stood. It was how he stood. His expression, focused, serious, unusually attentive. His body language, subtle but deliberate, as if forming an invisible barrier between Jimin and the crowd. And then there was Jimin. No words were exchanged. No clear interaction captured. Yet something changed. His shoulders seemed to relax, just slightly. His steps became more stable. His presence softer, calmer, as if someone, had grounded him in that overwhelming moment. That was when everything exploded online. Videos spread across platforms at lightning speed. Slow motion edits. Frame-by-frame breakdowns. Emotional reactions. Theories stacking on top of theories. Was Jimin really scared? Or were fans reading too much into it? Was Jungkook intentionally protecting him? Or was it just a coincidence of movement in a crowded space? Opinions quickly divided. Some believed it was a pure, instinctive act of care. That after years together, Jungkook didn't need words to understand Jimin. He simply reacted. Others believed it meant something deeper. Something unspoken. Something emotional. Something beyond what cameras usually capture. But not everyone agreed. There were voices of skepticism, arguing that this was nothing more than routine behavior. That in chaotic environments like airports, it's natural for members to look out for each other. So why did this feel different? Why did this moment, among thousands of airport appearances, stand out so intensely? Why did Jungkook's expression feel different from usual? Not relaxed, not playful, but focused, protective, almost urgent, as if in that brief second, nothing else mattered except making sure Jimin was okay. Time passed, but the conversation didn't fade. If anything, it grew louder. Fans revisited old moments, compared interactions, looked for patterns, asked new questions. Was this a one-time incident, or part of something we've been overlooking all along? Because sometimes, the smallest gestures reveal the biggest truths. And sometimes, what isn't said speaks louder than anything else. So now, after millions of views, endless discussions, and countless interpretations, one question still lingers, unanswered, unresolved, and impossible to ignore. Was that airport moment just a coincidence, a simple act of awareness in a crowded space? And as the footage continues to circulate, something even more intriguing begins to surface, details that many didn't notice the first time. A slight turn of Jungkook's head, a brief glance over his shoulder, the way his pace subtly adjusts, not too fast, not too slow, but perfectly in sync with Jimin. These are not the kind of movements people usually make consciously in a high-pressure situation. They feel instinctive, almost automatic, as if his attention, no matter how chaotic the environment, keeps returning to one focal point, Jimin. And then there's another layer that fans can't stop talking about, the distance. Or more precisely, the lack of it. In crowded airport situations, idols often spread out slightly to navigate the space more efficiently. But here, the gap between them seems intentionally minimal. Not restrictive, but protective. Close enough to respond instantly. Close enough to notice even the smallest change. Was that deliberate? Or is that simply how they've always been without us realizing it? Some fans have even pointed out how Jungkook's body subtly angles toward Jimin, rather than facing straight ahead like the others. It's a small detail, easy to miss, but once you see it, it's hard to unsee. Because it suggests awareness. Not general awareness of a crowd, but specific awareness of one person. And if that's true, then it raises another question. How long has this been happening? Moments like these don't just appear out of nowhere. They build over time. Through shared experiences, unspoken understanding, and a level of trust that goes beyond surface-level interaction. And that's where the mystery deepens. Because while cameras have captured countless interactions between them over the years, how many of those moments have we overlooked? How many subtle gestures, quick glances, or quiet adjustments went unnoticed simply because no one was looking closely enough? Now, suddenly, everyone is looking. And what they're seeing is making them question everything. Was this just about that one day at the airport? Or is it part of a much bigger pattern? A pattern that has always been there, hidden in plain sight. Of course, there's another side to this conversation. Skeptics argue that human beings are naturally wired to find meaning, even where there may be none. That fans, driven by emotion, sometimes connect dots that were never meant to be connected. And it's a fair point, but even then it doesn't fully explain the feeling that this moment leaves behind. Because beyond analysis, beyond theories, beyond fan interpretations, there's something undeniably real about the energy captured in those few seconds. Something that doesn't need explanation to be felt. A shift, a reaction, a connection. And perhaps that's why this moment refuses to fade. It doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't demand to be noticed. Yet somehow it lingers. Quietly, persistently, like a question waiting for the right person to answer it. So now the conversation continues, growing louder with each passing day. Not just about what happened, but about what it means. Because if that wasn't just a coincidence, if that wasn't just a random movement in a crowded space, then could it be that, in one fleeting airport moment, we witnessed something far more personal than anyone ever expected? And if so, how much of their story has been unfolding right in front of us this entire time without us ever truly seeing it?